Hey all, Brandon back with another episode of Brandon's Boy Problems. Today's episode is about Bicurious Boys. So I tend to get with a lot of like bi, DL, curious, straight guys. I think as gay men, we're pretty much conditioned to lust after straight men. Like we do live in a heteronormative society, and even like gay porn, like half the guys are like gay for pay. So it's like we're all supposed to like lust after masculinity and have this like ideal straight man image. And like I've always really applauded and admired gay men that aren't into like that whole DL closeted like bi bullshit. They only want like an out and proud gay man that knows what he wants and knows who he is. And I really admire people like that. But I am guilty of lusting after straight guys, and probably like at least like half or a third or the guys I've been with are usually tend to be like bi, DL, straight, curious, whatever. It's probably well, I mean, I am really into that, and it does turn me on when a guy has like a girlfriend or is like masculine. But like also as a feminine gay man, like a lot of gay guys aren't comfortable with their sexualities and are really like femophobic and have internalized homophobia, so they aren't as into femme guys. Whereas most bi guys usually are more open to feminine guys, especially since they like girls, so they're open into femininity and aren't as mask for mask. I mean, some are, but in my experience, like most of them do appreciate femininity since they do like it in women. So yeah, I get with a lot of bi-curious DL guys, and recently I hooked up with this guy. We'd been talking off and on for like maybe 2 years. Like I met him on OkCupid because I do like to go browse all the straight guy profiles just because like the gay guys there's usually like so little to choose from and like no one my type, and then like I go look at the straight guys and so many are so hot, and like I have gotten lucky where like literally I just browse their profile, like I don't even message them, I just like look, and then since OkCupid tells you like who looked at your profile, they can see like who looked at their profile, and I've had the straight guys message me and like were interested or curious and whatever, and like it's worked a couple times, so I do it. And then this is how I met that guy. Like he just started messaging me, and like he was pretty much physically my type. Like he's bare, big, beefy, bearded. He's my age, but he seemed like really weird and like odd. Like he might have been a virgin. Like it was odd to me though. I mean, we do live in like a fat shaming society, so like there are lots of guys that aren't as sexually experienced or aren't as promiscuous because I guess a lot of people aren't into like their body type, or they just aren't putting themselves out there. They're shy and have anxiety over their body or whatever. But whatever, like he's definitely really sexually inexperienced, but he's like hitting me up for years, and like I was always apprehensive because like he would be like weird, and I just like didn't really know if he's someone I wanted to meet up with because I just didn't feel comfortable. Like I felt like something was off about him, just because like also the being inexperienced part is the turn off. Like it's a turn on being a guy's like first same sex experience, but it's not really like a turn on being someone's like first sexual experience ever. Like that's a little too much pressure. And also like who wants a guy that doesn't know how to suck dick or like doesn't know how to like do anything? Like I've been doing this a long time. I want someone that knows what they're doing so they know how to pleasure me and not just experimenting to figure out how to even touch a penis. Like it's just like really annoying. But anyway, he wanted to meet up, and he'd been hitting me up like nonstop, like daily, like everywhere, and I was just like, ugh, I don't know if I even want to get with him. But then like he called me, or like he wanted to talk on the phone because I guess he was close in my town, and then I was like, oh whatever. And then like weirdly, like I'd never heard him talk before, like he had a really sexy like rough, deep voice, and it like instantly turned me on. I was like, I want his cock now. And then I literally like rushed over. He was like at the park like fishing because he's like country boy, and like I just met up with him at the park, and like he was hotter in person than I expected him to be. I guess because like maybe he was really nervous before and just seemed awkward, and that turned me off because it just seems like awkwardness is not cute. It just makes you feel uncomfortable. But yeah, he was hotter than I expected, but he wanted to like hook up in like the bathroom, and I was just like, no, there's only like one bathroom at the park, and like it's in the most central area where all the people are always going, and like I did blow him a little there, but like it just wasn't like I was too nervous, and people come in the bathroom, I was like, no, and then I did end up hooking out with him, and like we found a secluded area in the woods and like a bench, and like hooked up, but it was really scandalous. It wasn't even like my first time hooking up there. I hooked up with a guy there years ago, but I got scared and then like we finished in the car, but like I blew him all the way there. I mean, it was hot and like scandalous and like naughty, but it's also weird because like okay, like when I first got there, we like kissed, we even like held hands a little and like touched, but like nobody was like around, but like he wasn't as awkward. But then like once it was over, he was like, "Let's go separate directions. Like we don't know each other." I was like, "What? This is so stupid. Like nobody knows if we know each other. Like I don't know anyone at this park. Like who cares?" But it was just like really awkward and like I've dealt with this a lot with guys. It's really annoying. It's just like they're like so into it, they really want you, and then as soon as they like have their first same-sex experience, they get like super scared and then they like don't want anything to do with you, and then they like freak out internally like, oh my god, what have I done? Am I gay now? Like what does this mean? Like am I gonna suck dick? Could I be gay? Like it's just so much of a mind fuck, and like it happens literally with like every guy I've ever been with. I was like their first time with a guy, and then it's like it's annoying because then they suddenly are like they were hitting you up every day and like so into it and then really wanted you so badly, and then as soon as they get with you it's like, oh, nothing to do with you, this was just an experiment, I didn't like it, I don't want to see you again. And then of course literally they always come back. Sometimes it's like days later, sometimes it's weeks later, sometimes it's months, maybe even years, but like it is just so much to deal with, like internalized homophobia and like getting over like determining your sexuality. And like I think I'm kind of over that though, because it's like, oh, like if I'm into a guy, like I just want to see you again. But then if they're still like, I don't know if this is what I want, I'm so scared, I'm freaking out, it's like that's just like really annoying. Like I dealt with that shit and like with guys in high school. Like I'm over it. I want a guy that actually knows what he wants, knows what he's into, and isn't gonna freak out afterwards and say he wants nothing to do with me. Especially since like it's odd because like he was really into me before we got together, then like I was into him after we got together, and like that happens sometimes. And then I don't know, I haven't seen or spoken to him since, but then again I got with like 4 guys that week and he's probably like the one I was the least into. So like it's kind of like whatever. Like I don't really care if we get together again, but it's also just like annoying. It's like, okay, I wasn't into you before, then we got together, and now I'm like kind of into you, and then now you like don't want anything to do with me because you're so freaking out about your sexuality. But whatever, I don't doubt he'll be back. I mean, if he was hitting me up for 2 years, I doubt that like one time is just gonna make him not interested because he's like confused about his sexuality. But it happens. It's annoying. That's kind of I think why so many gay men do end up like single. Or people always like lamenting like what's wrong with the gay community and like why can't anyone keep a relationship. But I also feel like we all are on such different like timetables and paths and etc. Like we all come out at different times, we figure out our sexualities at different times, we get comfortable with ourselves and identities at different times. So it's like finding someone that's literally on the same page, on the same point in their lives as you, looking for the same thing. Like they're done their slut phase, they actually want a relationship, they want like a serious relationship. Like it's all different. Like we are on such a different timetable, so it's really hard finding someone that wants what you want when you want it, because they're just as comfortable and out and open with themselves as you are. So yeah, that's my latest experience with a DL by Closeted Boy. So thanks for joining me for another episode of Branden's Boy Problem.